Before talking about the game, let's talk about Commander Zavala. He was an awoken guardian who serves as the vanguard of the Titan class and overall vanguard commander of the last city. Stern and uncompromising, Zavala's only goal is to safeguard humanity within the last city against all threats. He oversees all Guardian military operations and led that Guardians to victory in both the Taken War and Red War. In the aftermath of both conflicts, Zavala has become increasingly isolated and reluctant to commit Guardians to conflicts outside of the last city, overseeing the vanguard. Zavala watching over the city as vanguard commander. As commander, multiple factions approached Zavala to try and gain his support. In particular, he was approached by New Monarchy via executor Hideo and was offered to be made king of the city if he had joined their faction, but he refused, likely not wanting to reignite the faction wars. He also turned away Araj Jalal of Dead Orbit when he pleaded with Zavala for support. A crisis eventually erupted on Venus following the usage of Ahamkara by Guardians to grant numerous wishes, which led to the para-casual beings gaining enough strength to begin reshaping reality on the planet. Zavala and the rest of the city's leadership decided that the creatures needed to be wiped out and begin the great Ahamkara hunt. A year into the hunt, Zavala fought alongside Shaz and the hunter Eris Mon against one of the creatures and mortally wounded it. He and Eris watched from a distance and Shaz sat next to the Ahamkara and placed a hand on its snout. Eris wondered if he was gloating, but Zavala noted his friend was not the type and agreed with her second guess that Shaz in fact mourning its death. The two guardians had to quickly shield their eyes as the creature began glowing and then exploded, and they were disturbed to find Shaz now standing in a crater covered in green flames. Zavala and Eris both began to speak, but Shaz quieted them as whispers began to build around them, a phenomenon they had all become used to fighting the Ahamkara. After the vanguard learned that the Hive were not a myth and remained on Earth and the Moon, Zavala commanded the last city's forces during the Battle of Burning Lake. The vanguard barely won a victory there, but the consensus began planning an invasion of the Moon to drive their ancient enemy away. As consensus met, Shaz interrupted them and declared their intentions folly and that the Hive had weapons like none they had ever seen that required further study, like their light-draining swords. As his old friend pleaded with Zavala to reconsider the invasion, he gently told Shaz that this would be a matter for the consensus to decide, not him. Zavala and the consensus failing to heed Shah's warning resulted in the great disaster. As thousands of guardians perished attempting to retake the moon for humanity, Zavala supported the speaker's creation of a lunar interdiction that forbade anyone from traveling to the moon in the hopes of restricting the Hive's movement. During a meeting of the consensus, it was agreed that the Concordat and its leader Lysander would be exiled following their unsuccessful bid to overthrow the speaker. Zavala agreed to handle the reassignment of the Guardians pledged to the faction, although he believed it would be difficult due to how loyal Lysander's followers were. The meeting then turned to a discussion of who should replace the Concordat on the consensus, and Zavala supported the future war cults in Culsion, considering their focus on combat more useful to the last city than dangerous. When his predecessor as Vanguard commander, Osiris, tried to broker a contract between the city and a mercenary group of titans called the Sunbreakers, Zavala found the terms of the deal unacceptable and rejected it, causing the Sunbreakers to hate the Vanguard and Zavala. In return, Zavala erased nearly every mention of the Sunbreakers from the city's records. Decades after the Battle of the Twilight Gap, Zavala learned that an individual was accessing the Bray archive at the Foan Institute library. He met with Owl Sector agent Cameron Dumuzi to inquire about the identity of the researcher, hoping that his old friend Anna Bray was still alive. Carmen protested that she was only supposed to be reporting to Quist, but Zavala informed her that he had been granted oversight over all Bray archive issues. The Owl Sector agent informed him that the individual was named Stacey Park and was just a civilian. Zavala sighed and sadly lamented that Anna must really be dead, causing Carmen to question who he was referring to. He deflected the question and told her that she had done a good job and keep him apprised if anything changed, unaware that Steza Park was an alliance for Anna. Zavala was the Titan Vanguard at the time of the destruction of the Black Heart by the Guardian. As Vanguard commander, Zavala is responsible for many of the campaigns and operations conducted by Guardians throughout Destiny and Destiny 2. Zavala is seen a clear-headed leader, someone who doesn't think without a second thought. He often finds himself putting the other vanguards in the tower in a place, so you could say he is a responsible role model. During the Red War, Zavala was forced to escape to Titan with whatever civilians he could. There he showed his dedication to the people of the last city as he constantly put their protection above all else. Beating the Destiny 2 Lightfall Desperate Measures mission on Legendary can be incredibly tough due to the lengthy battles, including the final boss fight. However, emerge victorious and you will have beaten all the missions in the Destiny 2 Lightfall story, leaving just a few characters to speak to wrap things up. Here are some tips to get you through the 3 most challenging parts of Destiny 2 Lightfall mission. Desperate Measures, including the final boss fight. Desperate Measures is the final mission of the Destiny 2 Lightfall campaign, and it's both long and difficult, especially if you are playing on a legendary difficulty. Before getting started, I highly recommend that your power level is at least 1740, but ideally you want to be at 1750, which is the recommended level. Desperate Measure kicks off with you fighting your way through Shadow Legion forces, starting at Zephyr Concourse to eventually reach the Irkala complex. But the difficulty ramps up quickly. If you want help with a particular step, use the list below. But otherwise, some cheese methods you can use to make this fight much easier, namely hiding under and shooting through a flight of stairs. But my tips will help you if you want to beat Callus and the Lightfall campaign science cheese. You don't have to use Strand. While you are definitely encouraged to use your newfound powers, the Strand empowerment is completely optional for this fight. There are lots of ways to fall off the arena, and the Strand grapple is useful for saving yourself, but consider foregoing it if you have got a decent build ready to go for another subclass. Stick to the outside walkways of arena. These offer relative safety from both Callus and the Cabal enemies surrounding him most of the time. However, you need to keep moving. Callus has a few attacks with very little wind-up that can kill you basically instantly, so you need always keep an eye on him and move around a lot. If you stay in the same spot, especially on those outside walkways, you will be prone to an attack where several vertical beams blast down onto you. Tormentors also appear in this fight and are not afraid to chase you down onto these walkways, so make sure you run away when necessary. Kill the Tormentors quickly. Callus shoots a lot of projectiles your way, and the Tormentors Void Waves only add to this problem. I also died several times from getting knocked out the arena and being unable to grapple to safety as I had been suppressed by a Tormentor attack. So get rid of them quickly to minimize these issues. Destroy the Shadow Legion shield packs, certain Shadow Legion enemies, including Callus. Hold black packs on their backs that grant shields to nearby fighters. Callus benefits from a comparatively chunky shield that can be difficult to bring down, so make sure you destroy the packs if possible. Damage overtime weapons such as Witherboard and Osteostriga are excellent for preventing any shield regeneration too. Phase 2 Callus is much faster and melee focused. With his first health bar gone, Callus will draw 2 massive swords and begin his second phase, causing the arena to shrink. Strand is undeniably very useful here as the grapple allows you to quickly zip around and keep away from Callus' high damage slashes. You should also use the round podiums as cover, and top keeps some distance between you and Callus. With Callus defeated and the Lightfall campaign pretty much over, you will unlock a whole host of endgame quests and activities to complete. If you want to unlock Destiny 2 Strand and all its fragments, you will need to get more Strand meditations. You can also get the Winterbite exotic by completing several Hall of Heroes quests, including Destiny 2 Maelstrom and Destiny 2 Blue Jay.
We finally found you.
Get your ghost!
What's wrong, Osiris?
Get your ghost out of there!
Finality takes shape.
It's creating the link!
At long last.
Destroy it!
What just happened?
We just lost.
Zavala, come in.
The universe makes us all victim and perpetrator. That's infinite cruelty. You, more than any, suffer both fates. Be free.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, do comment, share and subscribe to us. Thank you so much. Keep smiling. Take care.